Have you ever witnessed a record that became so large, people almost stopped talking about how impossible it actually was? Not because it wasn't impressive, but because the person behind it kept breaking the same record over and over again until greatness started to feel normal. Imagine standing at the top of a mountain. Now imagine staying there for more than 2 years while thousands of others try to climb higher. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Because in the world of K-pop, staying relevant is difficult, staying popular is difficult, staying loved is difficult. Every week brings new songs, every month brings new artists, every year brings new trends. The spotlight constantly moves. Yet somehow one artist continues to hold his position with extraordinary consistency. Not for months, not for a year, but for an astonishing 120 consecutive weeks. And that artist is BTS's Jin. Today, we're exploring a story that goes far beyond charts and rankings. A story about loyalty, a story about trust, a story about an artist whose bond with fans continues to grow stronger despite already reaching heights most people can only dream about. Because sometimes the most remarkable achievements aren't the ones that happen overnight. They're the ones built slowly, patiently, week after week, year after year. And Jin's latest accomplishment may be one of the clearest examples of that. Recently, Jin once again secured first place in the MY1PICK K-POP Individual weekly ranking. For many artists, reaching number 1 would be headline-worthy news. Fans would celebrate, the artist would be congratulated, and everyone would move on to the next competition. But this wasn't just another first-place finish. This victory marked Jin's 120th consecutive week at number 1, 120. Take a moment to let that number sink in. 120 weeks without interruption. 120 weeks without surrendering the crown. 120 weeks of fans continuously showing up, voting, supporting, and believing. If you convert that into years, it becomes even more incredible. More than 2 years. More than 2 years of sustained dominance in one of the most competitive entertainment industries in the world. Think about your own life for a moment. How much changes in 2 years? Jobs change, schools change, cities change, friendships change, interests change, life changes. Yet throughout all of that change, Jin remained at the top. That level of consistency isn't something that happens because of luck. It's something earned through years of building genuine connections. And the numbers behind this achievement make the story even more extraordinary. During the second week of June, Jin accumulated an incredible 7,495,075 votes. Millions of votes, millions of individual moments where fans took the time to support him. When people hear numbers like that, they often focus on the scale. But what's truly fascinating isn't the number itself. It's what the number represents. Every vote came from someone who remembered him, someone who cared, someone who wanted him to know he was supported, someone who believed he deserved that first-place position. When millions of those moments come together, they create something powerful. Not just a ranking, not just a statistic, but evidence of a relationship that has endured over time. And perhaps that's why this achievement feels different from many other records, because it isn't measuring only popularity, it's measuring consistency. Consistency from Jin, consistency from his fans. Consistency from a connection that has survived year after year. But here's where the story becomes even more fascinating, because the weekly ranking isn't the only place where Jin dominates. In May, he once again claimed first place in the MY1PICK K-POP Individual monthly ranking. And just like the weekly ranking, this wasn't a one-time achievement. This victory extended his streak to 29 consecutive months at number 1. 29 months. Nearly 2.5 years. Think about how difficult it is to remain at the top for a single month. Now imagine doing it 29 times in a row, month after month, season after season, year after year, without losing momentum, without fading from public attention, without allowing enthusiasm to disappear. It's the kind of achievement that transforms admiration into respect, because maintaining success often requires far more effort than achieving it in the first place. Anyone can have a great moment. Few can sustain greatness. And then there was another victory waiting to be added to the list. Jin also secured first place in the April 1 Pick chart K-pop solo category. That marked his 25th consecutive victory there as well. At this point, a pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Weekly rankings, monthly rankings, solo charts, different categories, different voting periods, different competitions. Yet the result remains remarkably similar. Jin continues to stand at the top, again, and again, and again. But numbers alone don't explain why this keeps happening. Numbers tell us what happened. They don't always tell us why. To understand the why, we need to look beyond the rankings. We need to look at the person behind them. Because while many celebrities maintain distance from fans, Jin has continued finding ways to communicate directly with the people who support him. Recently, he has been actively connecting with fans through Weverse and his personal Instagram account. And while that might sound simple, anyone who follows him understands how meaningful those interactions can be. A single message can brighten someone's day. A photo can spark excitement across social media. A thoughtful response can create a memory that lasts for years. Sometimes fans aren't looking for grand gestures. Sometimes they're simply looking for authenticity, a reminder that the artist they admire still values the connection they share. And Jin has built a reputation for giving fans exactly that feeling. The feeling of being remembered. The feeling of being appreciated. The feeling of being part of the journey. Perhaps that's one reason why his support remains so strong. Because people don't stay loyal to someone for 120 consecutive weeks simply because they are famous. They stay because they feel connected. They stay because they feel respected. They stay because they believe the relationship goes both ways. And when fans feel that kind of sincerity, something remarkable happens. Support becomes more than support. It becomes commitment. The kind of commitment capable of creating records like the one we're witnessing today. Of course, Jin's life hasn't been limited to online communication. His schedule has been packed with major events and performances. Recently, he completed the BTS World Tour Alguna concert in Busan. For the fans who attended, it wasn't simply a concert, it was an experience. A chance to see him in person, a chance to hear the music live, a chance to create memories that will likely stay with them forever. Concerts have always been special because they transform distant admiration into shared moments. Thousands of people gathering together, singing together, laughing together, celebrating together. And when the lights come on and the music begins, everyone becomes part of the same story. For many fans, those moments are priceless. But Busan was only one chapter. The story is continuing, and excitement is already building for what comes next. On June 26 and 27, Jin is scheduled to continue his European tour in Madrid, Spain. Across Europe, anticipation has been growing. Fans have been planning trips, booking hotels, counting down the days, preparing banners, choosing outfits, sharing excitement online, waiting for the moment when they can finally see him step onto the stage. There is something beautiful about that kind of anticipation, because it reminds us that music has the power to connect people across continents. Different languages, different cultures, different backgrounds, yet somehow they all arrive at the same destination, united by admiration for the same artist. And perhaps that's another reason Jin's achievements feel so significant. His influence isn't limited to one city, or one country, or one region. His support stretches across the globe, and every new achievement reflects that worldwide connection. But if we're being honest, the most emotional part of this story may not be the rankings. It may not be the votes. It may not even be the records. It may be what those records symbolize. Because every week that Jin remains #1 tells a deeper story. It tells the story of fans who continue showing up. Fans who continue believing. Fans who continue cheering for someone who has brought joy, comfort, inspiration, and unforgettable memories into their lives. And in return, it tells the story of an artist who continues reaching back toward those fans, who continues communicating, who continues performing, who continues giving them reasons to smile. When both sides continue choosing each other over and over again, extraordinary things happen. Records are broken, history is written, legacies are built, and that's exactly what we're witnessing right now. A legacy. Not one created in a single day, not one built by a single song, but one created through thousands of moments shared between an artist and the people who support him. 120 consecutive weeks, 29 consecutive months, 25 consecutive chart victories. Each number tells part of the story. But together, they tell something much bigger. They tell the story of trust, the story of loyalty, the story of a connection that has proven remarkably resilient in a world where attention often moves on quickly. And as Jin prepares for the next stop on his journey, one question continues to linger. Where is the limit? How much further can this incredible streak go? Can 120 weeks become 130? 140? 150? Can 29 months become 30? 40? Even more. Nobody knows the answer. But if there is one thing history has consistently shown, it's that predicting the end of Jin's success has never been easy. Because every time people think the achievement couldn't possibly grow any larger, it somehow does. And perhaps that's the most fascinating part of all. What we're watching isn't just a record. It's a living story that continues to unfold. A story written by millions of fans. A story carried by unwavering support. A story that keeps adding new chapters with every passing week. And right now, that story shows no signs of slowing down. So what do you think? What is the real secret behind Jin's incredible 120-week reign at number 1? Is it his talent? His personality? His connection with fans? Or is it the unique relationship that he has built with people all around the world? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories about BTS and Jin. And remember, some records measure success, but the rarest records of all measure something far more meaningful. The hearts that continue choosing the same artist week after week, year after year. And that may be Jin's greatest achievement of all.